WHAS 11 Weather First.
Good evening, I'm meteorologist Colleen Peterson. We have a heat wave in store this week. In fact, we're still at 89, just got out of the 90s, but with the heat index, it feels like 94 at 11 o'clock tonight. Now, it is going to get a little worse, and I can't even say it's going to get better. The next 7 days, mid-90s are in that forecast. WHAS 11 night team starts right now.
Tonight on the night team, will the Louisville Metro Council vote to pass a more than $1 billion proposed budget for the city? $432 million set to go towards Louisville Fire, EMS, and LMPD, but some nonprofits would see a cut or nothing at all. Plus, fathers all over Kentuckiana were celebrated today. Some spent the day in true Louisvillian fashion right at the track.
Not winning, but betting.
We'll take you to Father's Day at Churchill Downs. And then we're hearing from a family trio that seems to have firefighting running through their veins.
Just know that they're going to be watching, and they're learning, and they're absorbing all the time.
A father and his two sons, all Louisville firefighters. The truly inspiring story of following in your father's footsteps. You're watching the WHAS 11 night team. This week, Metro Council is set to vote on the city's budget for this fiscal year. The Office of Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg has proposed more than $1 billion for this year's budget, and Metro Council plans to take a vote on Thursday. It's our top story here on the night team. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Dieterer. The mayor's proposal has a particular emphasis on public safety, with $432 million set to go towards Louisville Fire, EMS, and LMPD. When Mayor Greenberg proposed the budget, he said the money is to help update technology for the departments, update facilities, and retain and recruit personnel. Louisville Fire specifically said the more than $87 million proposed to go to them would mainly go towards raises and overtimes. Fire Chief Brian O'Neill also argued that the raises are much deserved, especially after several high-profile rescues.
We've had a couple that are really in the public eye recently, but our members do this stuff day in and day out all the time. They take a tremendous amount of risk. They put their health on the line. Mayor Greenberg was very, very forward with us. That he's like, look, I'm here for public safety. He's talked about that, and this budget shows it.
While there is more than $1 billion in the budget, there are several organizations that are seeing their budgets cut. That's because federal ARP money is drying up this year, according to the mayor's office. Nonprofits are included in those cuts, like the Hope Village in Smoketown, which has established itself as a trusted resource to help people leave homelessness. They told us they could see their budget cut in half under the mayor's proposal. Meanwhile, the Center for Neighborhoods got $50,000 under the mayor's last budget, but with this proposal, they would get nothing.
We were able to sit down and think about this situation. But I know a lot of other organizations, this really caught them off guard.
Homelessness spiked 12% across the country last year. That's according to a recent study from Harvard University. The study says the most fundamental driver to the growing homeless population is a lack of affordable housing, with a record number of renters spending more than 30% of their income on housing. Mayor Craig Greenberg has proposed more than $32 million in this year's budget to go to affordable housing. And to combat that, cities across the country are trying to get creative to address housing and homelessness. One idea is micro-communities. In Atlanta, shipping containers have been transformed into 40 insulated studio apartments that include a single bed, HVAC unit, desk, microwave, small refrigerator, a TV, a sink, and a bathroom. The micro-community, known as the Melody, was built on a former parking lot in the middle of downtown Atlanta.
People who are here can be here as long as they need to be. There is no exit time for them. Some people's barriers are so high that they might need, assistance forever, but we already have some people who are already planning on I want to get a job and I want to go out. So our role at the Melody is case by case to make sure that we're helping people achieve those goals.
Other cities are also developing their own versions of micro-communities. Denver built 3 and converted another 5 hotels. In Austin, they've built 3 tiny home villages, and in LA, they've stacked shipping containers that have now been converted into a 232-unit complex. Clarksville is preparing to install the new gate for its downtown flood wall on Tuesday. The town says the $1.5 million steel gate will be transported from New Albany to Clarksville late tonight to avoid traffic issues. It'll be installed sometime on Tuesday, though right now an exact time has not been given. The new gate is part of a $4.5 million project to widen the flood wall opening on Main Street just off Riverside Drive. Work has been underway since last June. Kentuckians took the term dive into pride literally today at the Myriad Swim Club's Splash to the Past drag pool party. Take a look. Following yesterday's sold-out Kentuckiana Pride Festival, the Kentuckiana Pride Foundation and the Myriad Hotel partnered today to host the event, which has been perfect to cool down in today's heat. DJs, brunch, and a drag show brought people out to celebrate the end of this weekend's Pride celebration. Stephen Armstrong, who's on the board of directors for the Kentuckiana Pride Foundation, says this weekend was all about sharing the message of inclusivity.
Crowd yesterday was awesome. We had good weather, and we got to just relay all those messages, and we got to communicate that really not only to the rest of the country, but even to the world, because we had people that traveled all the way from Europe and things like that. So it's great to get our message out there for everyone, and then get to come and enjoy another beautiful day like this and kind of finalize our Pride Weekend festivities.
25,000 people bought tickets for the sold-out festival yesterday. That made it the biggest Pride Festival Kentuckiana has seen to date. We want to wish a happy Father's Day to all of the father figures out there. Some dads today spent their day a truly Louisvillian way right at the racetrack. Families spent their day at Churchill Downs, where kids of all ages sat with Dad to enjoy some snacks, some sun, and of course, some horse racing. For the Engels, who traveled all the way from Chicago, Father's Day at Churchill Downs could be a new tradition.
The tradition started with my daughter, my wife, and I, and my son-in-law going to Arlington Park every Father's Day, and then my dad when he could come into town. And then Arlington closed, and my daughter and son-in-law and granddaughter treated us to come down here for a day at the races on Father's Day.
Well, if you and Dad didn't have time to stop by Churchill today, there's nothing to worry about. The spring meet racing picks right back up at Churchill on Wednesday at 12:45. And we've all heard the saying, "I want to be like Dad," but a firefighting trio in Louisville are taking the phrase to the next level. WHAS11's Jose Alonso joins us right now in studio. And Jose, what a great story to share on Father's Day. 2 sons really following in their father's footsteps.
Alex, it was quite an interesting story, and I didn't expect to find this, to be honest. I was introduced to Major Brian Stotts and his 2 sons, who all work for the Louisville Fire Department, a family trio of first responders. Now, I partnered with photojournalist Aspen Hester to find out what inspired the 2 young firefighters to follow the same career as their dad. Louisville Fire Station number 11.
It definitely holds a lot of memories. Like I said, we spent a lot of time here growing up.
It's a special place for the Stotts family.
Well, the boys were kind of brought up in this firehouse, and we did birthday parties, and families, the crews I've worked with over the years have been great and family oriented.
Major Brian Stotts is the father of 7 children, 2 of which are Oliver and Sergeant Caleb Stotts.
Got to see a lot of the runs pulling out and him talking about it, all the stories, and it just seemed really exciting.
When he would work overtime days and we wouldn't get to see him a lot, we'd come up here and spend some time with him.
The Stotts sons admire their dad for inspiring them to start their own careers as first responders.
He wanted to take a step back and let me do it on my own, but he was definitely there along the way, cheering me on and making sure that, the spirits were kept up.
I just tell them, we're not here for us, we're here to serve, and so with that, it's a big responsibility. And it's humbling a lot of times.
Although there may be some brotherly rivalry on who's their dad's favorite firefighter.
We, want to sharpen each other and grow each other. He helps me with stuff when I have questions, and he wants to see me grow, but yeah, that's just how brothers go.
They inspire each other.
And I made my first fire. We were able to all be there, so that was a special moment as well.
Memories stemming from these pictures, from Oliver's first official response to them as kids sitting on a fire truck with their dad. They get to celebrate together on Father's Day. Major Stotts shares some fatherly advice.
Live out, and witness to them what you want from them when they're older, because they're going to observe it, they're going to watch it, and they're going to learn from it, and they're going to try to model that. And it could be a positive and it could be a negative.
Though the Stotts all serve different areas of the metro, they continue to check up on each other when they can. And the family even told me that there may be a fourth firefighter in the family, as another sibling is already showing interest in the career as well. I want to wish all the dads this weekend from the Weekend Crew a happy Father's Day. Here's my dad, Jose Alonso Jr. We're on vacation in San Francisco. I want to thank him for his acceptance and for pushing me to follow my dreams. Next, we have digital content producer CJ Daniels and his dad Jerry at the Old Forester Distillery. We also have editor Trey Muntz hugging his dad Kevin, our sports reporter Sarandon Rabin and her dad Ken back home in Arizona. Assignment editor Kaylin Olson with her dad Harvey at a graduation ceremony. Weekend anchor Alex Zederer with her dad Rick hiking at the Zion National Park. Photojournalist Aspen Hester with their dad Jeff celebrating their 21st birthday. Producer Dewey Jones and his dad Dewey Jones Jr. on vacation. And meteorologist Colleen Peterson and her dad Mark and the rest of their family on a vacation as well. Well, happy Father's Day to every dad across Kentuckiana. We'll be right back after the break.